Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN 1832. This is a 2016 223, which is caviar black with LA30 red interior in Maryland with 42,500 miles, and it is currently off market. You may or may not be seeing it up for sale soon, but the owner asked me to go ahead and do a deep dive so you can see what this car is all about. Production statistics. So 448 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were caviar, and of those 202 had LA30 red interior. That is the fourth most common color. So you have white with red, white with black, black with black, and then black with red, which is what this is. 8.6% of all of the US 49 production was this color combo. So like a 2 or 3 out of 10. It's a pretty common color combo. For 2016, 284 out of the 1,418 cars for the US 49 were caviar, and 127 had LA30 red interior. So this car is one of 127 for 2016 for the US 49 market. This car was built on April 14th, 2016. Its in-service date was January 27th of 2017, and it has engine number 2066562 as the original engine when it left the factory. It has options ML, which is Mark Levinson, OW, which is the orange calipers, and it's otherwise a pretty lower option car. It doesn't have the lighted door sills, it doesn't have the glass brake sensors, all-weather floor mats, it doesn't have the comfort and convenience package Z1, Z2, Z3, which is the trunk mat, the cargo net, the wheel locks, key gloves, things like that. When it left the factory or the port, it was not equipped with those. So it just has Mark Levinson and orange calipers. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car, and my June of 2025 Carfax shows this as a 1-owner, no accident car when this car was last for sale. Epic VIN shows this as a 3-owner, no accident, and AutoCheck shows this as a 3-owner, no accident car. And I believe Carfax got this one wrong. I think this is a 3-owner, no accident car, as we'll see here in the previous sales. May of 2016, first one on sale in Ohio, $87,000. Again, lower option car, most of them were 88, 89,000. Still for sale in October of 2016 for 84,000 when they dropped the price, and it finally sold in January of 2017, so almost 9 months for sale to its first owner in Ohio. December of 2019, it was up for sale for $55,000 with 10,000 miles in Maryland at Carvana. So this is what Carfax missed, but AutoCheck and Epic VIN definitely got it, and it sold in January of 2020, so less than a month for sale. Then in June of 2025, I remember getting screenshots of this car, again at Carvana, 33,000 miles, and it was asking $57,000 in Maryland, and it sold nearly right away to the current owner, who is I'm doing this deep dive for here in Maryland. July of 2026, now it has 42,000 miles. So the current owner has owned it for a little over a year. So now to the photos. The owner sent me several photos. It looks like a pretty clean car for 42,000 miles. I don't have any suspicions of anything that looks off to me. The touch points look good. The carbon fiber is not delaminating. See maybe a few tiny chips on the front end. The photos aren't really high quality enough for me to tell, but like overall, it looks like a very clean example. And I did ask the owner, does it have any rust underneath, being a New England car? And he says it has none. And so it was likely just somebody's nice day car or driven in the summertime. It wasn't a winter driven car. So now to the price. So here it is, July of 2026. The market for these cars is red hot. It has been for the last 3 or 4 months. And I would say 2016, July of 2026 with 42,000 miles, this car should probably be somewhere around $55,000 and possibly higher because of the market. But for me, I would probably put it in the ballpark of around $55,000 is where I would expect to see it if it went on sale today. So this car right now is at that point where these cars are becoming very mileage sensitive, sort of the 30 to 70, 80,000 mile range. The higher you go, the price goes down pretty quick, or at least that has been the case. And with the market being the way it is right now, being very hot, it's less affected by that. But basically once these cars get close to about 100,000 miles, they're gonna be, the floor is somewhere around $40,000 to $45,000. Double the mileage, it goes down a little bit more. Obviously, as the mileage goes up, the price goes down. But when they get over 100,000 miles, the price starts to go down. And somewhere in this 30 to 80-ish thousand mile range it's very price sensitive. And so this is right on the lower edge of that, where I would expect if you daily drive this, put a bunch of miles on it, it's going to go down to 50 or upper 40s pretty quick. And so $55,000 is, again, probably where I would put it in today's market. So now into the service history. It's pretty well dealer serviced with a few independent shops on there as well. So the first entry of note is October of 2016. The dealer swapped a taillight off of another unit. Maybe something got scuffed or scratched, or the chrome inside the taillights was bubbling, which is a common issue on these cars. Doesn't say why, but just something of note there. And then it looks like at 26 miles, a few weeks later, they did a touch-up on the front bumper. It just says repair or touch-up front bumper. It doesn't give any further details. Could be maybe the lower front bumper got scratched, taking it off the truck, unloading it when they did the pre-delivery inspection. July of 2019, the JLB recall was done. That's the high-pressure fuel pumps. Good to see that's done. August of 2020, the KLG was done. That's the GPS location reporting incorrectly. April of 2022, at 22,000 miles, 2 front tires. What do we know about getting front tires replaced before the rear? Front inner tire wear, possibly front lower control arm bushings. Some of these cars it seems to affect much sooner than others. February of 2026, 40,000 miles, the last dealer service. Just an oil change. So what's not done? I don't see where the low pressure fuel pump has ever been reprogrammed on this car. So that's the humming or buzzing you hear in the back seat. It was only affected on the 16s and some of the early 2017s. The valley plate would be something I would want to keep an eye on. Heat cycles and time definitely has the time. If it's had a lot of short trips, valley plate could be leaking. You can put a borescope underneath the intake manifold and see if you've got any potential leaks, anything like that, or keep an eye on the coolant overflow, the coolant reservoir, the coolant expansion tank. If it's starting to get low, you may have a valley plate leak. I don't see anything about brakes. There is a note on a 2020 service history at 14,500 miles that it had 6 millimeters front, 6 millimeters rear for the brake pads. So I would think at 42,000 miles that it probably has had at least the front brakes done, and the rear brakes are probably getting down there if they haven't been replaced yet. If I'm looking at this car, that's definitely something I would check. Front lower control arm bushings, I'd check those out, look at the insides of the front tires, and of course, as I said, the valley plate. I would probably do the transmission service, the TVD service, and just on age, probably the coolant and the drive belt. So, you know, when you get over 10 years old, start looking at rubber parts, belts, hoses, things like that. So that brings me to would I buy this car? I would say as long as it's priced fairly, I don't see any issues there. I would probably check on brakes and tires and do some fluid changes and probably the low pressure fuel pump reprogramming if it becomes an issue. And the easy way to tell would be shut everything off on the car except the engine. So turn off the seats, turn off the stereo, turn off the HVAC, the blower motor, all of that, and listen if you see a humming or buzzing in the back seat. If you do, then it probably needs to be reprogrammed. The fix for it is not free anymore. The dealer's going to charge you like a half an hour or an hour of labor to reprogram it, but the fix is available. But yeah, just kind of the usual things. I don't see anything that stands out, jumps out to me. Inspect the valley plate, but it has the potential to be a great car. So that's what I've got for you guys. VIN 1832. You may or may not be seeing this one for sale soon. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.